Hey Tribes, hope you're having an amazing morning or amazing evening, whichever day you're meeting on. Over the past couple of weeks we have launched our metric series. Hopefully you've been getting the emails about that, and I really encourage you, if you haven't yet filled in any of the surveys from the last 2 weeks on submission to Jesus or daily devotion to Jesus, can I really encourage you just to look back in your inbox and to be able to fill in those surveys. We're just trying to gather as much data as we possibly can, and thank you to all of you who have filled in the survey so far. It's been really helpful. And over the past couple of weeks we've looked at submission to Jesus and also daily devotion to Jesus. And as you kick off your time together, we'd love you just to spend a few minutes just sharing some general reflections on how you found the teaching. And we're really aware that as we teach into metrics, there's going to be some things that are going to be uncovered in terms of your thinking, in terms of how you order your life, and so it's really helpful to talk about that in community. So just share some general reflections. That'll be a really good way to start off your time together. And then beyond that, we'd love you to spend a little bit of time reflecting on our daily devotion to Jesus. We looked at Colossians chapter 2 and also John 15. You may want to read through that again as you work through your conversations. And really what we wanted to get to today is Jesus' teaching on John 15, that unless we're abiding in him, we're not going to be fruitful. And we abide in Jesus through our daily practices, our patterns and our pathways of connecting with him and also becoming more like him. And really we wanted to touch on 3 things that kind of hold us back sometimes through our practices with Jesus. We can feel as if they're quite restrictive. We feel as if they can hinder us. We're less free whenever we're engaging with them. They also can sometimes feel a bit pointless, that sometimes we think that actually it's all about the practice, whereas actually practices are always a means to an end. The point is always encounter with Jesus. And the final thing that we touched on is that sometimes we can feel as if we're too busy to connect with Jesus. And I wanted just to spend some time challenging all of us on Sunday past to make sure that actually, to make us see that actually we are not busy for this, that this is a question of our priorities and the priority of which vine or vines are we rooting ourselves in. So what I want you to do as you work through Tribe tonight is to look at those 3 things that actually sometimes we can feel as if spiritual practices can be pointless sometimes, that they can be restrictive, and also that we're too busy around them. And I would love you to spend some time just being honest with each other about that, of talking through that, but also sharing about how are we able to put this stuff into practice. What has been really helpful for you? Is there different apps that you've used, different resources that you've used, different patterns that you've built into your life that have been really helpful? There's always going to be wisdom in the room, so I'd love you just to share with each other, actually, how can we put this stuff into practice? And then finally, I'd love you to spend some time seeking together, and whether that is through worship or whether that is through prayer, to spend a couple of moments at the end of your gathering to seek God, to be able to pray or worship and to open yourself up to encounter him. So James is going to send you something that I read out on Sunday morning to help stir you into worship. So use that as kind of the starting block for all you're going to do, and just open yourself up to be able to encounter Jesus. So pray for each other, lay hands on each other, prophesy over each other, encourage each other, contend together, worship together, and open yourself to encounter Jesus, because that is always the point. See you real soon. Thank you for connecting with Metrics, and we'll see you next Sunday. Cheers. Bye.